Thank you as well to our Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, for being here. Flew down together. The press wants to know, what did you talk about? But we had a very good talk, I will say it. That became a very big story, actually, folks. We had a good talk.
Boy, did that keep people guessing today. That was President Trump surprising a lot of folks with his newfound support for Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, the man overseeing the Robert Mueller probe. Joining us now to react is California Congressman, House Intel Committee Chair Devin Nunes. Congressman, thanks for being here tonight. What do you make of the president's comments on the Deputy Attorney General today? That was kind of interesting.
Yeah, look, I don't think any of us think that Rosenstein should be dismissed before the elections. I think he does have to come in this week and answer whether or not he was willing to wear a wire or not, and whether or not he was looking at invoking the 25th Amendment. Those are key questions that he's going to answer before the Russia task force this week, supposedly on Thursday.
Devin, the issue of this redacted series of documents regarding the Russia probe, people watching across the country are like, okay, you guys are always talking about this. Documents that are going to be declassified and then they're not, or they're partially declassified. And we talked about this a few weeks ago, and I'm still not following what happened. The Deputy Attorney General, with a few others from the intel community, convinced the president, correct me if I'm wrong, not to declassify documents about the FISA warrant against Carter Page and other renewals of that warrant, and kicked it over to the Inspector General, correct? What else do we know about this?
Yeah, that's correct. And so, that's really my biggest problem with the Department of Justice and the FBI, is that every time we try to get something out to the public, they cry wolf, and they claim there's going to be national security implications. So the president was very clear, said that these documents need to be immediately declassified without redactions. Then what happened is that a meeting occurred that you just referred to, and then suddenly the IG was brought in. Now, my challenge with the IG, I don't have anything against the IG. IG's probably a great guy. But we're Congress. We believe that people have a right to know this information. It needs to be made public. It's not very much information. And we want the president to declassify it. And the president has mentioned that he would. So this has now been, I think, 2.5, 3 weeks. So it doesn't take that long, Laura. You're only talking about 20 pages of a FISA and I think about a dozen FBI reports from no other than Bruce Orr, whose wife, Nellie Orr, was working for the Clinton campaign effectively and helping to feed the information into the FBI. So I just don't know what they're thinking here. The president, I think, is a smart guy, but he needs to be careful about who he listens to, I think, sometimes.
Well, Adam Schiff is all over this, as you might imagine. Let's watch.
Mm-hmm.
The single act of using a never-before-housed rule to selectively release classified information in the now infamous Nunes memorandum was a violation of everything that the committee has stood for. It was a naked politicization of intelligence, and a fraudulent one at that.
Yeah, he was obviously not talking about that particular issue, but just making it personal, basically, about you. I know you're used to this, and you're in a you're running for re-election, and the Democrats are going to make you out to be the boogeyman here. But at this point, it seems to me that Americans have a right to know what the heck happened and why an American citizen was spied upon using documents that were created at the funding of the president's opponent during the campaign.
Yeah, so remember, the entire Democratic Party, and the media, their friends in the media, which is pretty much all of them, except for 10%, and all the bad people from the Clinton administration that were funneling this stuff in the FBI. You've got a dozen people now at the FBI and DOJ who are gone. So everything that we did on our committee, we had to do. We had to make sure the American public knew that this information about what somebody was doing to basically set up a campaign and accuse them of colluding with Russians was really wrong. And, we've now proven that the only collusion that happened was collusion with the Democrats and the Clinton campaign and the Russians. And I'll tell you, I still want to know why nobody's investigating what Russians were the Democrats and the Clinton campaign talking to through Fusion GPS and feeding that information into the FBI. And now we know, that broke last week, and you kind of alluded to it earlier, Laura, that the top lawyer for the FBI, Comey's lawyer, James Baker, was meeting with a top lawyer from the DNC. And, I'm sorry, that just doesn't smell good to me.
Well, as a lawyer for the FBI, you can't be having political or meetings that even have the appearance of being political in the middle of this type of investigation. Devin Nunes, thanks for taking some time tonight. We really appreciate it. I know we'll check back with you soon.